Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Hey, welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. Another gorgeous day, another gorgeous fall day here in northern Colorado. Well, what is going on the homestead here at my place? Well, I'll tell you, last night, I'm like embarrassed to admit this. I'm actually embarrassed to admit this. Last night, with all the things that I have to do, I don't know. I'm a pretty busy person. You know, I'm really trying hard to build Naturally Inspired and change the culture of health in the country. And that's kind of I'm kind of like a dog with a bone with that right now. And then I have to tend to my homestead and, my animals and whatnot. So I laugh at myself because last night I had some late night assessments. And after that, so picture me at about, I want to say I think it started at 9:15 last night. About 9:15, I got done with my work. And then I had to put my cats away because my cats were out late last night. Yes, I have way too many cats on this farmstead. I'm aware. I'm getting rid of some of them. I'm homing them out. They're already spoken for, so don't judge. But I do have 9 cats right now. Okay, I do. I have 9 cats right now. Stop judging. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just happened. And so don't worry. I'm getting rid of 3. I'm getting rid of 3 like very soon. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're going to be gone like that. They're already spoken for, actually. Anyways, so last night I go outside. I'm trying to get everybody into the barn, and usually I round everybody up, and by everybody I mean these 9 cats, with tuna, and no problem, right? I have a few cans of tuna. I will not disclose how many, but I have a few cans of tuna, and I open them all up. And I say, here, kitty, 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 right? And everybody comes and they all go into the barn, lickety split, no problem. I shut the door. They're in for the night. Everybody's safe. I'm out of tuna. And so I had some trouble last night getting everybody in. And, the term, it's like herding cats. Very true. I get why they say that. It was a gong show. I had cats. I mean, I wish somebody had filmed it because it was so ridiculous. Got a couple in, couldn't find the other ones. So anyway, I got done at 11 o'clock. So that's how long it took me to get my cats in the barn yesterday. Last night, it was insanity. But anyway, I didn't even get them all in. I was still missing 2, and I just looked at them and they were looking at me like, whatever, lady, we don't care. Where's the tuna? And I'm like, you know what? You guys are on your own tonight. Tough it out. Tough it out. So what happened? Well, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear this screeching. And I don't know if anybody out there has ever had a llama, but I have a llama. His name's Kyle. And he's the house alarm. We don't have, well, of course we have many alarm systems here. Many alarm systems. But Kyle's the chief alarm person or animal, I guess you could say. Kyle knows something's going on before any other technology or anything knows anything about anything's even happened. Kyle knows first. So Kyle started screaming at about 2 o'clock or so, 2:30, somewhere between 2 and 3, I think it was. And so it's this very distinct noise. If you've never heard a llama scream, it's interesting. It's quite loud. It's like a clicking, screeching sound. He doesn't do it very often. He only does it when there's a predator afoot. And so, of course, that woke me up. And then, there was a raccoon outside. And then I think about these dang cats that wouldn't go in. So anyway, this is the life of living on a little farm. Okay, this is what happens all the time. Anyway, I can happily report that all the cats are safe. They made it through the night. And I will be getting tuna immediately after I finish this show today. So I don't have to spend 2 hours trying to wrangle cats. Oh my gosh, why do I do this? Why am I like this? I don't know. I got a great show for you today. But at the top of the show, I'm talking about culture control. And man, this one really just, I think about this maybe once a week where I'm like, I had no idea this was on the docket for my lifetime. Do you ever feel like that? Maybe you felt like that through COVID. Maybe you feel like, it's upside down world where everything that was considered right is now wrong and everything that is wrong is now right. You get what I'm putting down here. It feels like everything's just upside down. And so sometimes I think it's once a week, actually. Once a week, I'm like, I never thought I'd live through this. Like I knew the conspiracies. I would say I knew more than your average person about how the world really worked, because I was aware of the conspiracies. I was kind of aware of real history, but I still didn't think it was going to happen in my time. For some reason, I just didn't think it was all going to come undone. I thought I'd be long gone when it came undone. Oh no. Gen X, we're just blessed that way. We get to be the adults during the undunning of Western culture. That's what I feel like. It's like, oh, who had Gen X on the bingo card to being in the role of productive adult during the undoing of Western civilization? Because I did not. I was thinking, oh, you know what? I had my kids relatively early. You know, I'm doing well with life. I'm gonna they'll be grown up and I'll still be in my 40s. This is going to be amazing, you know, and then I'll be able to focus on my career and blah, blah. But I didn't actually think it would be the undoing of civilized society during my adult run of life. Do you feel that way? Because I'll tell you what, when I saw some of the videos that were, and that's a whole nother topic that we'll get into, why this was even on my feed. But when I started preparing for the show today and I opened some of my social media accounts, they were filled with ingrates. Right? Maybe yours was too. Of course, I'm talking about the fact that there will be no food stamps come November 1st. Come November 1st, because of the government shutdown, people are not going to be getting their EBT, their government food stamps. And man, I tell you, when I don't know why, it was one video after the next video after the next video. And I thought, wow, it's like they're trying to enrage us. Again. It's like, wow, last week my feed was all Muslims. This week my feed is all ingrates, right? People who are sloth and gluttony came to mind. You know how when you just something just presents itself in your mind's eye when you're like, wow, this is the virtual depiction of sloth and gluttony. And I just didn't have that on my time frame here, Let's just get to it, because I want to give you a couple examples here. Mind the language. We're going to have to bleep this for radio. But if you're watching on streaming, you're probably going to get the full effect here. So if you're offended by some F-bombs or whatever, I apologize ahead. But I think we got to get the full picture of this. So watch this.
Hey, TikTok. So I was scrolling to TikTok and I just saw that next month us low class people, our lower class, we ain't gonna get no motherfucking food stamps. Let me tell you know how many people I have seen saying that they're gonna go to Walmart and steal? They don't know that we don't give a fuck. Either you're gonna give us food or we're gonna take that bitch. Why are they doing this? Why are they trying us like this? Come on now. We're trying to survive out here. And the way that we survive is by taking shit. So, get it together. Get it together, MAGA. Because y'all motherfuckers are the ones that have more food, that need more food stamps than us Latino and blacks. So, good luck to ya. And you voted for this.
I just want to go straight to another one. So here's another one. Same vibe here. I want to give you the full effect of what my feed was like today. So watch this one.
Donald Trump done fucked up. Let's just make it clear, okay? He talking about people ain't getting food stamps in November and probably not December. He better get ready because it's about to go down, okay? What you're going to learn is you don't play with black people's food stamps, okay? So get ready because people about to just start taking shit, okay?
And one more. I want to go straight into another one here. Watch this.
Trump cutting off food stamps right before Thanksgiving, bad and all, but my people ran out of stores. With the cart full, I bet it's going to be some turkey on my plate. Ham, mashed potatoes, greens, dressing. It's going to all be there. Don't worry about it.
So for full effect now, that's just 3 of them that I'm sharing with you. I can show you my entire feed was full of these on X. It was just one after the other, after the other. And I think I have one more I'm going to share with you after the break, because this is not a new thing. This culture of, not pulling your own weight or being entitled to things. It's not it's not just one class of people. It's not just one color of people. It is a culture that has been created. It's part of our culture. We've allowed it to be created. This sense of entitlement, this sense of victimization. It's an epidemic. And how do we walk it back is the question. I don't know if we can, but I want to talk about it when we come back. So stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know that Naturally Inspired Radio is streaming on 100+ video podcasts, social media, radio platforms? We're out there as much as we possibly can be. All you have to do is search any platform for Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio, because we're everywhere you listen, watch, and connect. Help us grow our YouTube channel today. If you would, go to YouTube and search for Naturally Inspired Radio, like our posts, follow our channel, leave a comment or two. That helps us push it out to more people. And of course, share it with a friend. And don't forget to visit naturalinspiredradio.com anytime for the full list of where we're featured online and on radio. We're so glad that you support us in this way. It is the only way we are growing this message of changing the medical model. So we're so excited to be doing that hand in hand with you. So thank you so much for your support. So sloth and gluttony. And then I started seeing these two words when I was watching this. It was like an avalanche of these videos. Maybe your feed looks like that too. I'm not sure why mine does, but it is just filled. It was hard for me to find anything else other than these people who were just expressing how they were going to be, a lot of them said they were going to be beating up white people and stealing their groceries. Stealing their grocery cart. They were just going to knock you out and then take your grocery cards, quite a few of those. And other people just saying they don't care. They're just going to go in and take what's theirs. On and on and on. And I just thought, wow, this is like, we're to the point. And I'm to the point, I guess, where I'm starting to be like, okay, where are we in the pattern of the fall of Rome? Like, that's what it made me think of. The fall of Rome. I guess I have entered this part of this strange world that we're living in. It's like, how are we mirroring the fall of Rome? Well, we're right on cue, everybody. We're right on cue, because one of the top reasons of the decline for the fall of Rome was loss of civic virtue. And that's defined by how early Rome was built on discipline, duty, and hard work, and what Romans called virtue and seriousness and loyalty. As wealth and conquest poured into the area, the sense of duty faded. And by the late empire, citizens relied on the state instead of serving it. The Roman historian Sallust wrote, "Ambition and avarice destroyed the love of our country, love of country. Overindulgence and hedonism. As Rome grew richer, the elite pursued luxury, excess, and entertainment rather than civic responsibility. So they enjoyed feasts with exotic foods, and those became symbols of status. Gladiator games distracted citizens from reality, and personal pleasure replaced public service." Gosh, you don't have to go very far to view that in full effect. You just go on Instagram. You know, we're seeing these people who, I don't want to get involved in civic duty. And that's a real problem because because of our corruption in government and, the corporate government partnership, the private public partnership that's really fascism, and the corruption of it, no good people want to get involved in that. Politics is a culture of narcissism. There's only a handful of people that are just, bless them, they're trying to tough it out. But it's very difficult for them to make a difference because the monster, the swamp, it sucks up all the air, because it's such a big swamp. And so nobody good wants to get in there and actually do anything because it's like banging your head up against the wall. So, a lot of these people that have money and whatnot, they're out, on their yachts, they're traveling private jets. Like, you guys, as Rome grew richer, the elite pursued luxury, excess, and entertainment rather than civic responsibility. We're living that. And, this dependence on welfare and bread and circuses is another component to the fall of Rome. So dependence on welfare and bread and circuses, the government began providing free grain, free wine, free entertainment to keep the masses content. If you can't afford food, but you have a $1,500 iPhone that allows you to post these videos on TikTok and on Instagram, that's because they need to have you. They need you to have that phone because it benefits the megacorp. Because if you're not working, then you're spending all your time online, probably surfing TikTok, surfing Instagram, not really doing anything productive, but being distracted. And that feeds the model of the megacorp because the megacorp wants you to spend all your time on their media platforms. It's a good way to condition you and control your algorithm in your thinking to steer you towards the results that they want that aligns with their agenda. So it kind of, free phones. It's not an accident that a phone will come with the app, Facebook on it, Instagram, those things come on it and you can't even take them off. That's not an accident, right? That's the megacorp in action. And the government providing you things, it's just to keep you complacent and make sure that it keeps feeding the thing. That's why they try so hard to get like Medicaid and Medicare approved pharmaceuticals. Like they're trying to get that with Ozempic right now. Medicaid and Medicare should cover Ozempic according to the megacorp, the lobbyists, right? Once they get it institutionalized, then it's like free money for them because the government pays for their pharmaceutical prescriptions. And so, biologics, same thing. That's why vaccines are so profitable because the government institution of healthcare, Medicare, Medicaid, it pays that automatic. They don't have to worry about you making money so that you can, in the private sector, so that you can then pay for those things. They just let the government pay for it. So this is the model that we're headed for. Dependency dulls initiative, and people stop contributing to the strength of their country because they expect to be taken care of. This is the fall of Rome. Like, we're in real trouble here, right? And we've been here for a while, but it seems like it's escalating, and then, we have this other component that we should really discuss, which is that, everybody thinks, well, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they, and to those people that are like, why would the government do that? Why would the government create people who were dependent on them? Why would the government create systems that actually make people weaker? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? This is what I would say to you. You've got the wrong denominator. See, the denominator is like, they want health and wellness for everybody. They want a productive society. They want people to be, thriving, and they want everybody to be well. Like, why would they do that? Scratch your head. Like, yeah, if you keep using that denominator to try to figure out why things are happening in the world, you're never going to figure it out. Because it will never make sense. It will never make sense why people do terrible things that result in poor outcomes, right? Like keeping people in victim mode, giving people things instead of teaching them how to provide for themselves, right? Like, it's all about, we have to keep care of these people, and that's something I really noticed about Democrats over the years. Like, they think that helping people, they don't think that helping people like that, giving everything away, don't get it twisted. It's feeding their ego. See, because there's an element to the ego that for people like to help people they view beneath them. See, I don't have to take food stamps. We got to give the food stamps to the poor, victimized people because they don't know any better and they can't help themselves. And look at me, I'm so good. I don't mind paying more taxes to help the people that are beneath me. Because why else would you keep someone in a perpetual victim mode? Are you really helping them? Do they ever get out of victim mode? No, they don't. Very, very rarely. Very rarely. And on the other side, if you're more conservative, where you're like, come on, man, like, let's really solve the problem here. Let's figure out why, you're in the situation that you're in, and let's teach you the skill set so you never stay in that position again. We're considered, not nice, mean, unempathetic. Like, just go back to the Bible, right? If you give somebody a fish, you feed them for a day. If you teach them how to fish, they're able to fish for a lifetime and provide for themselves, right? It's pretty basic. But it would never make sense to you, again, if you keep trying to, square this situation, these circumstances, with the reason of, well, we're trying to make society better. No, they're not. See, that's when things change. When you realize that the outcome is not what you think it is, then it starts to make sense. And then you go, oh, that's why they're doing this. Yeah. They have an agenda, people, and collapsing everything is part of it. Stay tuned. I'll explain when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
You have a chance to join me tonight on the weekly wellness workshop. Tonight, we're talking about insulin resistance. We're going to talk about the silence of sugar, what that does to you on a cellular level that you may not see in the beginning. It takes a while for this to impact you, but when it does, then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. And you never correlate it with what's been going on over the years. So we're going to be talking about that tonight, and I'm super excited about it. We have a powerful antioxidant, and it's my favorite one. It's called Cellular Reset. It's been shown to activate your body's longevity genes, helping protect cells from aging and stress at the source. Here's what Lisa says. She's out of Texas. I've tried so many supplements over the years, but nothing made a difference like this Cellular Reset. Within 2 weeks, my energy came back, my joints felt looser, and my mind was sharper. It's like my body finally woke up again. And Tammy really took the time to understand my health story and guided me step by step. Just by becoming a customer, you get to be part of the Naturally Inspired community, and you can join us every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for our weekly wellness workshop. We talk about a different topic related to health every single week, and together we get people on track for optimum health. So become a customer today. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset. If you have any questions about this at all, just text me 720-303-8868. Again, you can purchase your Cellular Reset, naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset. Then text me and tell me 720-303-8868. Hey, I bought some Cellular Reset. I want to get on the call tonight. I appreciate the text, the heads up if you do make a purchase, so I can make sure I get you the Zoom link to join us tonight at 7 o'clock. This is a community that is growing fast, and it's super exciting because people are getting results every day. And I love engaging with you on my text line and hearing your wins. And I also love hearing your frustrations. That's what I'm here for. So reach out to me. Let's connect. Join the community, get yourself some support on your optimum health journey. So you guys, I look up sloth and gluttony. Okay. And man, I'm just like, wow, this is just really interesting. The time that we're in. So gluttony, overindulgence in food, drink, or anything that dulls awareness. Sloth, spiritual and physical apathy, refusal to grow, move, or engage in life purpose. And I saw that today, how do I say this nicely? I guess, very overweight people, and that were wanting to, express their anger and say, I weigh, like one lady, she was like, I weigh 250 pounds. You ain't getting my card away from me. And I'm just like, wow, I want to talk about it from this point of view, my point of view, because I just look at this and I think, wow, this is, people who have accumulated so much weight because they are overfed and under-nutrified. And that is the cheap food that gets pushed out And I was looking at some of these videos and, they're showing their fridges and they're looking at, the types of food that they like. And we're talking about like pizza rolls, everything comes in a box or a bag, you guys. And it's pop and it is like the worst possible nutrition you could have. And I just thought, wow, that's, again, you got to think about what is the real outcome that this megacorp wants with its citizenry. Because if you look at the real outcome, they want these people to be dependent so they continue to feed the train, right? The money train, which is like the government, the people who do work in society, who pay taxes. Their taxes go to supporting this program, and this program funnels people right into the healthcare program where they consume, the food in the public food program, and then that funnels them right into the public health program, which funnels them right into the pharmaceutical program that is funded by Medicaid. Like, do you see? And then think about what Doge did, right? Think about like these parasites. What's really, really interesting is that like we beat ourselves up because we're like, oh, I'm not a billionaire. Like, oh, and maybe not consciously, but like subconsciously, like, we're like, wow, like how did Nancy Pelosi get so rich? Like she's such a, she's a lifetime politician. Like, and some people might think, wow, she's really smart. How did Bill Gates get so rich? He's really smart. How did, whoever gets so rich? They must be really smart. We kind of beat ourselves up for that. But like when you look at it, you look at Doge and all, like Hillary Clinton, people like that, they're taking our money. We're the ones doing the work. And these other people have figured out a way to siphon money off of the infrastructure that we're funding. And it's like, what do we do? What happens if we just all stop working? It's not a good idea. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just like, it's just like we're over here beating ourselves up trying to do everything the right way. Like I stay up at night trying to figure out how I can make my business better legitimately and by doing the right thing, by helping people, by, trying to make a difference in the world. And it kind of can get you sometimes, where you're like, wow, this is insane that there's people out there that just take because the culture we have created makes them think that they are entitled to that. I don't know how you felt about seeing this today, but that's how I felt. I felt like, wow, this is insane. This is like really some serious problem here. And when you start to relate it back to the fall of Rome, it makes more sense. Like the decline of military strength. What have we just heard recently? We have just heard that only, a large portion, only 30% of our young people can actually qualify for our military right now because of health. Decline of military strength was one of the things that's been researched and studied for the fall of Rome. So as citizens became less willing to fight, Rome relied on mercenaries and foreign soldiers. They lacked loyalty to Rome's ideals. They were often paid to defend what the citizens no longer valued. I think we have a program, we did have a program. I don't know if it's still going on with Trump in office, but with Biden, we had a program a path to citizenship if you would join the military. 6 is loss of purpose and spiritual decay. So many historians, including Edward Gibbon, so he wrote The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, saw Rome's fall as the result of spiritual emptiness, a society that had lost its inner compass. When meaning disappears, pleasure becomes the substitute, but it never sustains a civilization. So empires rarely collapse overnight. They decay from within long before they're conquered from without. When a culture values comfort over courage, pleasure over purpose, convenience over character, decline is inevitable. Some pretty serious stuff here and pretty serious parallels here. And it just kind of like, wow, really woke me up today. I want to play this additional clip about education. Watch this one.
So yeah, I made a video about me owing student loans, right? I owe about $150,000 in student loans. I got 2 degrees. I got a bachelor's in biology and I got a master's in secondary education with an endorsement in clinical mental health counseling, right? I said, so y'all mean to tell me y'all gonna garnish my check? I'm trolling, right? I made that video last night. I never knew it was so many negative people that would comment on that video. I feel like my video reached the wrong side of TikTok. Like, just laugh. I'm not mad about it. I haven't paid these years in over 4 years. After I graduated in 2021. You think I'm worried about it now?
Everyone, the degrees in our country are absolutely meaningless. This is a qualified mental health counselor. You can pay your way to a certificate in anything. I mean, it's become such a joke. I mean, there are degrees that I thought, well, I'd really like that. And then when I look into the program, I'm like, well, this isn't what I want to learn. This isn't what I want to learn. How will this benefit me? You would have to go to school and answer questions in the voice that is being parroted to you, even though you don't believe it. Especially in medicine, right? You have to say what they want you to say in order to pass the course. And then when you pass the course, you get your little piece of paper. Never mind the things that you are studying are wrong. They're just wrong. You know, if I was to take a course on nutrition again, it would, because I've taken them before. I've taken them. I have to suspend my belief to jump through the hoops in order to get the certificate. Because it's not what I believe. Vegetarian diets are the best diet for everybody. Fake meat is the best diet for everybody. Like this, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. But that's what you need to say in order to get your little piece of paper and get $150,000 in debt like this woman and have absolutely no intention of ever paying that back. I think the fall of Rome might be here, people. Oh my goodness. We'll be back with your naturally inspired moments. Stay tuned.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
It's crazy, you guys. It's crazy because we're conditioned by the institution, you know. You gotta put your kids in school. Your kids gotta go to college. You gotta do this. You gotta have this doctor. You gotta have health insurance. They are raping us. And, you know, to pay for my kid to go to a college, like, I just laugh because you don't deserve my children. Even if you offered to pay me to put my children in your school, I still wouldn't do it. I paid to put my child through brainwashing and conditioning. See if they could sustain it, you know, see if they could hold together their value system during those 4 years. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? But many people do it. They still do it. And they take the attitude like, well, you get that wherever you go. You know, they got to go to college. No, they don't. Mine are doing great. I couldn't ask for better kids, you know? Like, I mean, they're not perfect, but like, who is perfect, right? They don't need to be perfect. They're perfect to me. And I just like $150,000 in debt. And that's the quality of character these institutions are pumping out, right? Eating chicken wings on TikTok and telling everybody you're a clinically certified mental health counselor. 2 degrees. 2 degrees. Is that who you want helping you? We have a major problem here. Like, the culture is, whew, you know, it feels overwhelming. Thank the Lord that, you know, we have him. We have the Lord, and we know where this is all going eventually, right? Like, hold on to your faith. Hold on to God. Hold on, because it's the only way. You know, I've had to separate myself from what's going on this earthly plane, because you just have to be an observer at this point. Because it's just like, what can you do? You can only do your work, right? The work that you're capable of doing, trying to connect with people and bring positivity to people and give them hope and, you know, promote a relationship with God and help people connect to that and be like an observer outside of it, because it's so crazy, right? It is so crazy. You try to make sense of it, you can't, because you can't reason with the unreasonable. And so all you can do is just be a model for what you want to see more of and raise kids that, you know, carry your values forward and your belief system forward, and just pray. Just pray. Pray for peace. Pray for people that they see the light in their actions, that they are so incredibly self-destructive and they're clueless that they're self-destructive. Very hard to watch. But these people in these videos, 100% self-destructive. You get no fulfillment out of living a life like that. None. It's nothing but pain and hardship. So for today's naturally inspired moment, I want to talk about relationships, because like now more than ever, we have to work on our relationships, right? The ones that are valuable, the ones with our kids, the one with our families, because we need community more than ever right now. That's what gets people through hard times. And let me tell you, we are in hard times and we got more hard times coming. So you got to build your relationships and insulate yourself from some of this. And you do that with your community. And so here are 10 components of a great relationship. Okay. You got to be able to recognize it so you know how to curate them in your own life. Number 1, trust. Trust is the foundation of a great relationship. Without it, everything else crumbles. It's built through consistency. It's built through honesty. And keeping your word is a big part of maintaining trust in a relationship, even with small things. Okay. Even with the things that we think, that doesn't really matter. Things like, I'm going to do the dishes and then you don't do the dishes. That erodes at your trust over time. So nobody's perfect and don't beat yourself up, but make a conscious effort to keep your word on the things that you say you're going to do, even the small things. So keep a promise today, no matter how small that promise is, right? It builds over time. It does 2 things. You build trust with the person, but you also build self-respect within yourself because it feels good to keep your word. It doesn't feel good when you have to break your word. Number 2, communication. Healthy communication means listening to understand, not to defend yourself, but to understand. So you know it. We do it all the time, right? Sometimes you're talking to somebody and they're not actually hearing you, but they're thinking about what they're going to say next. We're all guilty of that at times, I think. So healthy communication means you're listening to understand, not to defend or think about what you're going to say next. It's expressing truth with compassion and curiosity, not criticism. Number 3 is respect. You don't have to agree on everything. We do not have to agree on everything, but you must honor one another's humanity. Respect allows love to breathe. A lot of people say, all you need is love. I disagree. Love's great, and I'm not poo-pooing love, but it isn't all you need. You need respect. You need respect. Because when you can't love, sometimes it's easier to show respect and honor that first. 4 is forgiveness. Every relationship requires grace. People will disappoint you. Oh, yeah. And you'll disappoint them. It's part of being human. So forgiveness isn't approval, it's release. It doesn't mean it absolves anybody of anything. It just means, I'm not going to carry that around anymore. I'm going to say, yep, that was part of life. That happened. And I'm not going to carry it around anymore. I'm going to set it down for myself and for the sake of a better relationship. So don't carry resentment around with you. Number 5 is patience, because real love grows over time, and being patient with each other's process, just as you want others to be patient with yours. So we say this all the time. Nobody's perfect, but yet, when people mess up and people have shortcomings, we tend to be hard on them in our minds. Not necessarily do we express that, but we think it, and we're harder on people than we should be, even though we know nobody's perfect. Expect things will not be perfect, because we're humans here. We're humans. And so be a little patient with other people's process and understand that we're all growing. We're all growing on this journey. If you're not growing, then you're sliding backwards, right? So understand that people are always in a growth process. Shared values. Common ground keeps you aligned when life gets hard. Shared values guide decisions and strengthen your bond. This is really key because, sometimes we feel like we have to build relationships with people because they want a relationship with us. And we feel like, oh, well, they want to connect. They want a relationship with me. I need to respond to that. I need to build that relationship. But here's the thing. If you don't have common values and belief systems, why are you putting energy into that? You're going to butt heads. It's not going to be a relationship that is a core one that is going to support you. So yeah, you can be friendly, you can be acquaintances, but do you need to put the energy into a relationship when your core values and belief systems are so different? It's going to require a lot of your energy just to hold that relationship together. It's not really worth it. Why? Why? Just let it stay in the acquaintance realm and be pleasant with one another. Not every interaction you have, or, every say you're taking a class together or something, you're going to be with each other for a specific amount of time. Like, that doesn't mean that you need to dive into this as a relationship. It can just be acquaintances. It's totally okay. Understand that you're going to put more effort into it than benefit you're going to get out of it. And that's okay. Emotional safety. So people open up when they feel like they have the room to open up. I'm not talking about a safe space here, okay? I'm talking about judgment. With great relationships, you should be able to disclose things to these people that, maybe aren't the best side of yourself. But you should feel like you can do it because this relationship is a great one where both people can fully be themselves, right? I mean, it is constant skill to make sure that you're making decisions that align with your belief systems and your values. You have to be skillful about that. A lot of times we get distracted, people take jobs that they don't want to take because of money. That's a perfect example of it, right? They don't even like what they do, but they feel like they have to do this right now for money. Well, that doesn't mean that area that they're working in is part of their values and belief system. They've sacrificed that a little bit, right? And sometimes that happens, but people don't need judgment when they're in that scenario. They need support to get back in line with their values and their belief systems. So offering support is a great way to curate healthy relationships. How can I support you in this? I know this is not something you want to do, or I know that you're making decisions that are out of line with your belief system. And how can I support you to get back on track? Those are good relationships, right? So listen without interrupting to make sure that people feel supported. Because most people, when they're doing stuff that they know is not aligned, they already feel bad about it. They already feel bad about it. They need a little bit of your attention without interrupting, and they need to feel like they're not going to be judged, so they can't talk about it. They got to talk about it in order to get back on track. So that's a sign of a healthy relationship, is when you can do that. Growth, stagnant relationships fade. Healthy ones evolve. Encourage each other to pursue purpose, health, and self-improvement. Sometimes we don't like it when other people grow past us, if they're trying to improve their health or lose weight or, hit a marker with their health. Sometimes we can make it about us because we aren't living aligned with our values and our belief system truly. And so take yourself out of it. When somebody else is trying to do something, it's not about you. So don't let that impede on you. Number 9 is gratitude. Focus on what's right creates connection. Focusing on what's wrong creates distance. And don't forget about fun. That's number 10. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, Dive into long-form podcast conversations and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're joining me today in the first hour. Welcome to the circus, people. Welcome to the circus, because in the first hour, I shared with you a number of videos where it's becoming clear that we're living in the age of sloth and gluttony and entitlement. And wow, Food stamps are going to be shut down November 1st. And, people are outraged about it. People who have been getting this help from the government are outraged about it. What I think started out to be an emergency type of assistance at one point, I think that's truly what it was, an emergency type of situation, for single mothers maybe that were having to provide for a family and, has become, there aren't really words for it, These are not starving people that are taking, this. And from what I can see, like some people are getting thousands of dollars from the government for food benefits. And of course, that just goes right back to feeding the corporations that make all the processed foods and whatnot. So like, it's just like, wow, it's a behemoth of a system that feeds itself, And anyway, so I shared a number of videos here of these people that are feeling like they will just come out and take whatever they think they are entitled to. And we have our government and the culture that has been created to thank for this, because there has been a victimization of people. And so because they're victimized, then there is they feel like they are entitled because they are owed this. They are owed this support from other taxpayers, other citizens. And so this is what's been nurtured through the decades. It's been nurtured. And I've been likening this to the fall of Rome because there's so many parallels to the fall of Rome. And it's just, it's a crazy time that we're living in. It's crazy. And it's getting crazier. It's getting crazier. My first story today that I want to cover in the news, besides that whole issue, is about the climate change agenda that is... I knew Mark Carney was a climate change cultist in Canada there. He's heavily invested, another billionaire getting into a position of, quote, power so that they can shape that agenda for the bigger cult, because that's exactly what it is. It's a cult. My way or the highway, follow the tenets. If you don't follow the tenets, the 18 sustainable goals, the, one world government, follow the tenets. Part of this, the tenets is, being used to usher people into the final agenda here is the climate change advertising campaign, which is exactly, that's what it is. But anyway, I knew Mark Carney was a big part of that. But, and I have to say, you can even ask my sister. I predicted this. And it doesn't take a genius to have predicted this. The first signal was when Canada started doing land acknowledgements. Do you know what a land acknowledgement is? I bet a lot of Americans don't even know what a land acknowledgement is. Well, in Canada, they're so incredibly politically correct. They have two sign language people usually when they have a politician speaking. They'll have two sign language people. And they're jumping through all the hoops, including making a declaration at the beginning of any public speech, which is a land acknowledgement. So the land acknowledgement, whatever, it's like a pre-scripted thing where they say, I would like to acknowledge that we're standing on, First Nations tribe, blah, blah, blah's land. And we're grateful that we can be standing on this land today. Thank you to the tribe. And that's a land acknowledgement. And it's comical, honestly. Like, it's gotten so ridiculous. Because like I said, they'll have two sign language people. Like, you can't be more politically correct than Canada. It's like the politically correct Olympics over there, man. Like, it is insane. They want to acknowledge, the LGBTQ, the First Nations people, the one man with only 9 toes. Like, I mean, it really is hilarious if you watch it. It's really kind of sadly hilarious. But anyway, when they started doing that land acknowledgement, I was like, uh-oh. I knew exactly where this was leading. And you guys, here we are today. It's only been a few short years. So I'll just let you listen to this. This is what's going on in Canada right now. You will own nothing, remember, and be happy. Take a listen.
51 years, we don't want to be moving anywhere. We don't want to be giving up this property. We have no intentions of selling this property. So whatever's happening right now, it's very concerning.
So the question is, will anybody want to ever buy a property that is being so affected? Could you get a mortgage and secure that mortgage or other financing by a charge on that property? It throws the whole situation up in the air.
Well, I've had constituents reaching out, even, DMing my social media accounts because they're really concerned about what the Cowichan Tribes versus Canada decision means for them.
So we're calling on David Eby to do a pause on negotiations until this can be resolved.
They're going to take your houses, people. I called this a long time ago. So I think the climate, what we really need to understand here is the climate change stuff and this type of behavior where they're actually passing the buck, right? They're passing the buck. It's like, oh, this is all about the Indigenous people and giving them their land back. You're a dirty colonist. You're a dirty colonist. And so you don't deserve to own a property. You can't own land. No, you can't own land, you dirty colonist. Well, here's what we'll do. You know what we'll do? Because a lot of these tribes, they don't really have the infrastructure to take back their land and facilitate that legally and do all the stuff. And then, so I think what will happen is your lovely government will broker the deal. So you'll actually pay your mortgage to the government and the government will negotiate some kind of deal with the Indigenous people. And of course, it'll come at a premium, but the government will take that money in. And you will own nothing. And here's why you can't own anything, everybody, just so if you didn't know. There's this thing called artificial intelligence and the technology revolution and the biological revolution. And it's going to eat up our natural resources like nothing you've ever seen before. Like nothing you've ever seen before. I played you a clip yesterday of an engineer who disclosed at his conference that they were explaining to him that your little question to ChatGPT, every time you ask a little question to ChatGPT, it actually takes about 1.5 liters of water to process that through the data center and to bring you your answer. And so imagine all the questions. Imagine all that goes into the artificial intelligence. And this is just for chat. We have such complex artificial intelligence programs happening through biology, through farming. Every industry you could possibly imagine is going to be impacted by artificial intelligence. And so these data centers that they're going to be building everywhere, they're going to be busy. The power that is coming out of that is needed to fulfill the transformation into the technology revolution, the digital technology revolution. It's almost unthinkable how much it's going to take, how much energy it's going to take. And this is a real problem. So they've known this for a long time. This is not new technology. We probably know maybe half of what's actually accessible to them right now. And so this is not new technology. This has been happening for decades. They've known that this revolution was going to take place where we go into more of a natural resources type of currency, carbon score, carbon credit, more of a social credit system where your behavior dictates what kind of reward currency you're going to have access to. They've known that this was going to be the model. And when I say they, I am specifically talking about the private government partnership that has come together to create a new culture in life on planet Earth. So they've known this, that it was going to oh my gosh, this is anybody in technology knows that this is the issue, the natural resource issue of water, being able to cool data systems, being able to come up with, more power, more energy, more batteries, that's the problem. That's the only thing holding this thing back right now. And so they've got to strip the people from using too much energy, right? Water, land. They've got to strip the people of that in order to suck it all into artificial intelligence and the digital revolution. And that's what this is. This is a land grab, and they're going to use political correctness of the First Nations people to scold you and give up your land. But make no mistake about it, this is all about technology. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Do you know about liquid collagen? If you don't, I want to introduce you to it because it's a game changer. Liquid collagen can improve joint flexibility by up to 30% and reduce exercise-related pain within 6 weeks. Melissa from Utah said, I couldn't kneel without discomfort for years. Tammy suggested adding liquid collagen to my daily routine, and within a month, I noticed the difference. My knees feel stronger, and I can garden again without pain. It's truly changed my life. So if you're not supplementing with collagen, you need to be. You're losing it at 1% a year since your mid-20s. And so that lack of mobility, it isn't just about aging. It's actually about lack of collagen. So you can try it today. And when you make a purchase of the collagen, you'll get a free membership and 15% discount off of all of our product line, not to mention a money-back guarantee. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen today. Get yours ordered. When you have ordered, text me and let me know, because I'll send you the link to join us on our weekly wellness workshop tonight. And tonight we're going to be talking about insulin resistance. So text me 720-303-8868. 8. Yeah, you guys. So the digital revolution. So we've been through the industrial revolution. Things totally changed then with the industrial revolution. What happened? Well, we used to have people living out on the prairies. They used to be farming, right? They used to be living way far away from each other. And what it did, the industrial revolution, is it brought people into the cities. It brought people into factories for work instead of farming for works and creating for work. And we're in another revolution right now. So this isn't a conspiracy theory. You just need to sit down and think about this. We are in a revolution. The revolution is technology. We have an incredible amount of technology. It's going to affect our biology. It's going to affect every facet of our way of life. And so within that revolution, which the Industrial Revolution did as well, but this is going to be much more profound and much more personal, because there's the aspect of the biological revolution, and that's the merger between man and machine. And they believe, and when I say they, I'm talking about the people who are developing artificial intelligence and who understand it, the quantum computing component of it. They're scared off their tails that if we don't merge humans with technology, that technology will be out of control. It will actually so-called have a bit of a mind of itself, and we won't be able to control it. So they actually believe that we have to merge with technology in the biological revolution, and they can't wait for it because they believe that will really kick things off when it comes to the digital revolution. So you don't need to even take my word for it. Just go listen to Ray Kurzweil, go listen to Eric Schmidt, go listen to these people. They tell you, they're not hiding it. They're telling you that this is what they're going to do. So, you can tell yourself, oh, that's crazy. It's a sci-fi movie or whatever. Yeah, totally. But also it's here. So understand that it's here, because when you feel crazy, when you say well, why would they do that? You can go back to this and be like, I'm not crazy. They're doing it because of the digital revolution. They are land grabbing all over because of the digital revolution. They are burning down things, or maybe maybe they're not burning them down. Maybe they're just being opportunistic with fires that have happened near the coastline, because access to water is going to be a very big thing, because water is currently the only thing that they know they can use to cool these data centers. They need to actually be in water. So what better place if you're not close to the ocean to have access to water? And some of these land grabs in British Columbia, they just so happen to be close to water as well. So this next tweet I put up, because this is a good lawyer from British Columbia, Canada. So let's put up his tweet. Keith Wilson, he's been really great through COVID and whatnot. So 95% of BC's land base is currently subject to unresolved claims of Aboriginal title. This means the First Nations people own the land. Okay, you guys, this is just a way to grab the land. Come on. The court just ruled in the Cowichan case that a successful determination of Aboriginal title can declare fee simple interests invalid as unjustified infringements. This means the assumed indefensibility of registered titles of BC home and business owners under BC's Land Title Act just flew out the window. You don't own anything. Isn't it weird, that people aren't putting it together? Remember when Klaus Schwab said, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy? You'll be free, everybody. You'll be free, because owning things just ties you down. It just makes you susceptible to being extorted, actually. I mean, it really does. Many years ago, I heard Elon Musk talk on a podcast. This is prior to even COVID, I think. And he was talking about how he was selling everything he owned. He sold his house, and then I heard another person in technology. I think it was the owner of Telegram. He voiced the same thing. I don't want to own anything. The reason why, you guys, is because this is a mafia. Your government corporate gangsters, okay? It's a mafia. if you say anything out of line, if you do anything out of line, if you go against the cult agenda, they will ruin you. They will, let me say it again, they will ruin you, whether it's financially. I mean, just look at what Candace Owens is talking about. Do you think she's full of it? I mean, I know Kanye West is crazy, right? He's got some issues, poor guy. But the psychological warfare, I'm thinking that he's been under, I bet the best of us would have some psychological issues if we were exposed to the type of psychological warfare that people like Kanye West are. Justin Bieber, those types of people. I mean, psychological warfare. And that's what we're dealing with here. It's just, that's what we are dealing with. It is a cult. It is an agenda. They have a line of products that they are using to change culture, change the world, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And so our job is to figure out how to carve out space for ourselves during this, where we can stay aligned and to our belief system and our values, and be observers of it. The ESG score, do you remember that? The environmental social governance. They started that long time ago now with corporations, where you had to be environmentally compliant, socially compliant, the governance piece of it, that you were doing your part. That was a control mechanism. That was a carbon score. That was the primary of the carbon score. And now it will be applied to individuals. Like, I would love it if I was wrong, but I know I'm not. And I think you probably know I'm not. So that's where we're at. And in Canada, wow, it seems to really have been accelerated through Mark Carney, which another billionaire also invested in the climate cult advertising campaign and agenda, working on the behalf of people like World Economic Forum and the powers, the gangsters, the corporate gangsters that work hand in hand with politician gangsters to achieve the final agenda, right? Which right now is the digital revolution. So any of this stuff, the land grab, the water, the commoditizing the rainforest, like this is, we're going to have to get our heads around the new currency, because the new currency is resources. That's the new currency. And, the dollar's crap and it's not backed by anything anymore. So like they had to launch this whole COVID thing in order to throw all the chips up in the air and get everybody confused and make it chaotic, and then throw in some race stuff, and then throw in some, mixing of religions so we can have some holy war going on. I mean, we got a holy war, we got a social identity issue, we've got entitlement issues. Like what list on the deadly sins are we not battling with right now? I mean, we are in biblical times. It's like surreal, I think. There's like a disconnect between what we read in the Bible, what we like experience in real life. There's like a bit of a disconnect. It's like, is that really going on? Because this is modern times, and it's hard to like reconcile what you're reading and then what you're seeing. And you're like, is this it? Because it sure looks like it. It sure looks like it, guys. It sure looks like it. Yeah, you got to have faith right now to get through the things that we're seeing in the world. This was an interesting thing. Let's go to the clip. I think we can get it in before the end here. Trump announced this. So let's watch the clip and I'll address it after the break. But this is Trump today.
What do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right?
So right there, he's talking about the fact that, we actually had Dean Lerwick from Pumpkin Creek Ranch on last week, I think it was, and he was talking about this issue of country of origin when it comes to beef, right? Right now, the way that, and this has been going on for decades, Dean was telling us, he's been in ranching for a long time. This issue of country of origin labeling has been going on for a long time. It's the fact that, overseas foreign cows, okay, cows that were raised somewhere else, as long as they are, quote, improved here in America, meaning they could be butchered, they could be, they could be packaged, like any kind of improvement. If it happens here on American soil, well, that beef gets a sticker on it that says USA, FDA, right? Or USDA approved. And so it leads everybody to believe that that's American beef, when in fact it isn't. That these cows could be raised in China, they could be raised in Australia, they could be raised wherever, we don't know. And then the way we do processing, you can have up to, 100 cows in your little tray of hamburger, and they could be coming from all over the place. You have no idea. And so Trump, first and foremost, remember who Trump is. He's a businessman. Let's talk about that when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
I don't know. Today I feel like I'm Debbie Downer, but I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be Debbie Downer. But I think it's important that we know what's going on. And of course, always remember that God is on the throne. And again, some compartmentalization may be needed here, as we kind of be observers of the downfall of things. It's okay. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity, I think, for all of us. And interestingly enough, like more people that I talk to every day, they're expressing to me that they're being called back to get closer and more practiced in their faith, right? Get closer to God and be more practiced in their faith right now. And so, that's the powerful side of it is tough times do push people back to what they know is real and what they can connect to. And that's light. And so perhaps we have an opportunity here to return to, getting more focused on the things that really matter. And together that will spread more light in what appears to be quite a dark time right now. So that's what I comfort myself with. I hope that brings you comfort because inevitably we know God's on the throne, right? He's on the throne. So maybe this is the devil's playground. Maybe this is the devil's world that we're living in right now. But that day is coming eventually, And so all we can do is kind of keep observing and being like, yep, I see that there. I see that there. And how do I insulate myself from it? How do I insulate myself and create light? And that's what I'm trying to do here with Naturally Inspired by connecting with you, is to almost like a network of light, Can I know one of the best ways to to cultivate more light in people is when they feel well, and understanding their own biology and understanding that they don't have to fight against their body, that they are whole and they are wonderfully made, and there is a path to wellness. It's about communication with your body. And so if we can just pass that little torch quietly around, because they don't like it when I do that. They tend to take down my videos and stuff, but hey, have you checked this out? Have you checked that out? You are whole, you are capable, maybe there's something over here that you can do. So that's the light that we can spread and let these people. At this point, a lot of this is just pure demonic. It really is. It's demonic. So, put the armor of God on every day and just understand that you're an observer. And so I don't mean to be dark today, but this is some pretty serious stuff that's happening, over in Canada with the land grab. And because the more control these entities, these countries, right, they get over the people, over the land, over the resources, the less freedom we're going to have. And so people need to be aware of it. With the country of origin on the beef, Trump stating, that he's doing this for Argentina, they're not but you have to understand, Trump's filter is business. I feel America's a corporation. We voted in pretty much the number one businessman in the country to run our country. We had to do it because America is a business now. It's a corporation and it's run as such. So I don't know what kind of deal he worked out there, but you better believe it's about money. Better believe it's about money. The thing is, we're losing ranchers all the time, and we're losing control over our food system. And that's not a good thing, given that everything is so tumultuous, right? You got people on TikTok telling you they're going to push you over for your groceries and punch you in the face and steal your food. Will they do it? I don't know if they'll do it, but they're saying it. So you got to at least kind of be well, it's possible. How desperate is it going to get? Will they find a way to get these people their food stamps so that they, quiet down again? Probably, because they watch social media. They certainly do. They know what people are watching. They know what people are saying, and the last thing they want is a big outrage, because then that'll just derail the agenda. So we'll see. But I found that really interesting. So he's striking a deal with them to buy their beef. Of course, this is going to, cut out our small rancher again. And so I would urge you, if you're not buying beef from a small rancher, connect with one. PumpkinCreekRanchCo.com is fantastic. They ship all over the place. They're a small operation. Buying direct to consumer is the way to kind of preserve our infrastructure of small ranches and small farming, which we need. I don't even understand how people don't see that as a national security risk when our food is coming from centralized corporations. It's a big target. You want to take people out. I mean, they did it in World War I. They targeted food rations of soldiers. That was part of taking down the enemy. So I don't see how it's not a security risk, but nonetheless, it continues to happen, and our food supply gets more and more centralized all the time. Every time you see another merger with a company, that's not a good thing, and we're supporting it. We support it because we don't even realize we go to the big box stores. We buy the collagen from the big box stores. We buy all this stuff from there because it's convenient. I go back to the fall of Rome, from all the researchers and the experts on the fall of Rome. And what is listed on here, you guys? Convenience. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see how that progresses, but it's something that we got to keep in the forefront of our mind. buy local when it comes to beef, buy local, support the local farmers and ranchers because we need them. The next story I wanted to cover was about MRIs and CT scans. Have you ever had one? If you haven't had one, there is a component to these scans where they use something called contrast. And I'm just going to find my information on this. So the contrast is actually a metallic contrast agent. I'm going to try to pronounce this. It's gadolinium. Gadolinium. It's a metallic contrast agent used in MRIs to scan and improve image clarity. Well, it can have side effects. And what we're finding out now is that it can have some serious long-term side effects. Yes, it can. Who knew, pumping metallic contrast through your body could be a problem? I probably could have told you that, But nonetheless, we trust the medical paradigm, don't we? So some common short-term side effects, people get sick, right? They get headache, they get nausea, they get vomiting, dizziness, lightheadedness. They may feel like sensation, like warm sensation pumping through the injection site. They may get a metallic taste in their mouth, mild skin rashes or itching. But some people get even allergic reactions or hypersensitivity to this agent that is getting pumped through them. They also can experience drop in blood pressure or tightness in the chest and wheezing, long-term and delayed complications. This is what we don't really hear about ever, is these delayed, right? It never gets traced back to these types of things, you guys. So this contrast can happen even in people with normal kidney function. Small amounts of this agent can stay in the body and it can accumulate in the brain, bone, skin, and organs. And symptoms can lead to fatigue. It can lead to brain fog. It can lead to bone and joint pain, burning and tingling sensation, muscle twitches and muscle weakness, skin thickening and discoloration. And it's referred to as GDD. So it's gadolinium deposition disease. So through it's still under scientific review. We need more testing. Anytime you see that, we need more testing, it means that the cult, the people who design the products, right? The people who design the products, they're not going to pay for testing to find out their products suck. Who would do that in their right mind? Nobody does that. And so there's always more testing that's a key thing. So NSF is also, nephrogenic system fibrosis. This is most severe complication. It occurs almost exclusively in people with poor kidney function in the beginning, but it causes thickening and hardening of the skin, muscle issues, joint stiffness and pain, and can even affect your internal organs as well. So think about it. What are you getting out of your scan? That's what I think is important, because we tend to be so we want to know, we want a diagnosis because we feel like that will bring us closer to a remedy. But the truth is that a lot of the remedies, they actually cause more problems. And so tracing it back to root cause, I believe, just my opinion, I believe is the way. Let's, instead of, what am I calling this? What's the diagnosis on this? Because that diagnosis, I guarantee it's going to lead to a procedure or a prescription. Because that's the only two things they have in their wheelhouse. They know prescriptions and they know procedures. So instead of being so intent on getting a diagnosis, I know this kind of goes against the conditioning and goes against the grain, but what about getting to root cause? All disease comes from cellular dysfunction, inflammation, right? Metabolic dysfunction. So what are the variables here that I can control to try to bring some homeostasis back to my body at the metabolic level? Just some common sense, right? Instead of like, I need a name for this. How about let's switch the thinking back to what could have caused cellular dysfunction? Am I looking at inflammation, controlling inflammation? What happens when I just go, say like on a therapeutic keto diet, right? Ketogenic diet, therapeutic, meaning you don't eat rolls on the weekends, right? You don't have a little bit of sugar. I mean, committing to it at a therapeutic level and just sitting with that. What can I do in 90 days? Stay tuned, everybody. Your health topic is up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Might be your last chance to join us tonight. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for our weekly wellness workshop. Tonight, we're going to be talking about insulin resistance, which a lot of people deal with this. You may not know it, but if you're eating the standard American diet, or you're eating, six servings of carbohydrates a day, and you're getting signals coming from your body, things like skin tags, crashing energy during the day, waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If this stuff sounds familiar to you, if you just can't seem to get your groove back, you can't lose weight no matter what you do, these are some hallmarks of insulin resistance. And so jump on the call with us tonight. Become a customer. If you're buying multivitamins, you can buy them from us. Become part of the community. That's how easy it is, right? You're buying a lot of this stuff at Costco or at Walmart. All we're asking is that you buy it with us at Naturally Inspired with our partnered product line. And then you get all of the coaching and the community for free. That's how simple it is. Sometimes I think maybe I'm not articulating it enough, because you would think, this kind of, well, Jason was telling me today, like he studies this stuff at length. He's like, this is the future. Like, if you are not part of a health community yet, you will be in the future because of the change in the medical marketplace. It's going to be so you're not going to be able to access the kind of care that you want outside of pharma and outside of procedures in the medical mafia model. You just won't have access to it. So it's like, get in a community now and start living in prevention, or you're going to be in that community tomorrow where there is no freedom and there is no choice. That's the truth. I'm not trying to say that to scare you. I see patterns and I know exactly where this is going. So now is the time to take personal responsibility for your health and get into an environment that will help you optimize your health and get you on track. Okay. Today's health topic I want to talk about is 7 ways the body stores trauma and where it lives. So trauma is not what happens to you. It's what happens inside you. And it is not separate from your mental health. A lot of people think, well, abuse, trauma, that all impacts your mental health, right? We accept that it impacts our mental health, but we haven't quite acknowledged yet that trauma actually is stored in our tissues, in our bodies. So every time we have a traumatic incident, our nervous system is impacted by that traumatic incident. And when we're little, like 0 to 6 years old, that is when our nervous system is learning how to fire and wire. So everything that is traumatic that we deal with from 0 to 6 years old, that's creating the infrastructure for how we deal with stressful events. It's wiring our nervous system. And so trauma can be stored in our actual nervous system, and therefore it seeps into our muscle tissue, it seeps into our organs, it seeps into us at a cellular level. Okay? So in traditional Chinese medicine, trauma isn't just emotional, it's energetic. And when experiences overwhelm the body's ability to process emotion, that energy becomes stuck energy, or what they call in traditional Chinese medicine, qi, which is life force. It becomes stuck life force, and it no longer flows through the body freely, and the body holds the memory of pain until we release it. So healing begins when we recognize our emotions, live and learn to move with them. Okay? We got to learn how to move the energy through the body. And if you grew up in a traumatic, environment, and it doesn't even have to be like, we're not comparing trauma here. Like some people are horrifically abused as children, and I completely acknowledge that. But also, your experience is your reality. So we don't have to measure, oh, my trauma is worse than your trauma. Like, it's all relative. If the worst thing that you've ever experienced is like getting spanked, right? That's your level of trauma. Whereas somebody else may have very horrific trauma, even sexual abuse, right? But the point is, that still wires your nervous system. It's still your perception and your way of dealing with things, okay? So it's not about, comparing trauma. You don't need to compare. So here's some cues. So your lungs are affected by grief and sadness. When we lose someone or something dear, the lungs often carry that sorrow. Unreleased grief can feel like tightness in the chest, shallow breathing, reoccurring respiratory issues, throat issues. And so when we're grieving, to counter and release that energy, deep breathing exercises, right? Releasing emotion, like crying. That's release. Crying's great for you. You need to release the energy. Okay? In nature, can help release lung-bound emotions too. So getting out in nature and connecting. Number 2, liver. So your liver is impacted by anger, frustration, resentment. Okay. The liver governs the smooth flow of qi. Suppression of anger or injustice causes stagnation, and it leads to headaches. It leads to PMS. It leads to pain and digestive tensions. So in order to release the liver, you have to support it, right? You have to support it with liver detox, right? Support it with gentle things like turmeric, dandelion root. Our liver DTX is a wonderful product for liver support. But you also have to move your body daily. So walking, stretching, even shaking out helps the liver release that stuck energy. Acupuncture is a great thing too. If you can do the modality of acupuncture, it's great for that. The heart, of course, the heart is impacted by heartbreak. That's where that saying comes, right? Betrayal, emotional shock. So the heart houses Shen, which is spirit, and emotional trauma like betrayal or sudden loss can disturb the heart's rhythm and sleep. So in order to move the qi through the body with this, you need to speak truth. Say what you got to say. Say what you got to say. It is not good to suppress what you need to say. Practice forgiveness. Again, forgiveness is for you. It doesn't absolve anything of anybody of anything. Forgiveness is for you. So you don't, cultivate a bitter heart. Surround yourself with people who create the space for you to be able to do those things. And you know what? Ask people. So like, if you're, in your family or whatever, if you've been suppressing a lot of things, make an announcement before you just can't, you get off the hook. It's like people have outbursts when they've been suppressing too long. So say, listen, I know I have been suppressing a lot of things. I'm going to have to come out and move this energy in some way. So, if I act different or if I, have to express myself in a different way, can you give me the space to do that? Because I need to get this out. I can't push it down anymore. So your spleen is where you carry worry and overthinking. The spleen is affected by mental rumination and chronic worry. It weakens digestion and leads to fatigue or feelings of heaviness. Ground yourself if you're feeling like this worry and overwhelming. You want to ground yourself with slow meals, lots of warm foods, and mindfulness, and nourish your body and calm your mind. Work to calm your mind. Your kidneys are affected by fear, insecurity, trauma from shock. The kidneys store our essence and are deeply impacted by fear or chronic stress. When fear is trapped, it shows up as lower back pain, adrenal fatigue, and anxiety. So deep breathing practice and into your lower abdomen. Bring the breath into your lower abdomen. You need more rest. You need to build strength through warmth, hydration, and sleep. Stomach is impacted by anxiety and lack of control. So when life feels unpredictable, the stomach tightens. Anxiety, digestive upset, nausea can all point to trauma that you have stored in your gut. So create predictable routines. Try to create things that you can have some control over. Eat slowly, right? Speak gratitude before your meals. Use contrast. Right? Use contrast, things could be worse, right? To express gratitude. When you use contrast, it triggers gratitude. And that can take you out of that worry, fearful state. Muscles and fascia. This is unprocessed stress and defense. So all that stiffness. The fascia is our connective tissue network. It holds the microtensions of every suppressed emotion. This is why as we get older, we think, oh, we're getting older, we're getting less mobile. No, you aren't producing collagen anymore at the rate that you used to when you were younger. But on top of that, every single BS thing that has happened to you, that has made you rattled your nervous system, your fascia remembers all of that, and it holds it unless you work through that energy to release it. So trauma can manifest as stiffness, chronic pain, and unexplained tightness. Many people think they're dealing with an old injury, like, oh, my old football injury or something. And yeah, maybe there's some scar tissue there or whatever, but likely there's some trauma involved as well. I mean, I can't think of how many times I've heard the story of I was really good in high school football or college football, and I really wanted to be a professional. I wanted to do this, but I got injured, and then everything derailed. My whole lifestyle changed. I lost friends. I lost that. People, that's traumatic. And so it's not just the injury, it's the traumatic component of it as well. Have you ever processed that? Have you ever wrote it all out? Have you ever expressed it to the point where you were able to release some energy, really cry and sob about it? Because that's the energy release I'm talking about. And you may think, I'm not going to cry over that. I can't cry over that. Okay, then hold it in and stick with your sore back. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You're human. Energy builds. And trauma builds energy. If you don't let it out, you're going to suffer within your tissues. Like, have a good sob about it. It sucks that happened to you. You know, we take that information, we store it too long, it starts to manifest as real pain in the body. And it's aching to come out. So let it. In traditional Chinese medicine, healing isn't about forgetting, it's about transforming. You transform that energy and you integrate it. When you move your qi, you reclaim your vitality, your clarity, and your peace. Trauma stored becomes wisdom shared, and your body becomes light again. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.